Hello there, and welcome to the Fish Tank Barn. It's August 23rd, and unfortunately over the coming week, we're going to see a significant drop in temperature, with lows dipping into the 50s on some evenings. With this significant temperature change, I do think it's time to consider closing down some of the tubs. This is going to be a multiple weekend project, but I do want to start with my Priscilla tubs, because those are the ones that are most sensitive to temperature. So let's go ahead and get started. So before we start the process of taking down all the tubs, let's just go ahead and do a quick overview of everything that's been going on since we did our last update in August. So this first tub here, unfortunately it's seen a little bit of frog action. I've seen some frogs jumping in and out of here, but this tub is home to my double sword guppies, so hopefully the frogs didn't eat all the fry. Moving on here, this tub is going to be a little bit of a surprise. We're not really sure what we're going to find in here. This one is home to my Hawaiian variatus platies. This has been kind of covered with duckweed since day one, so I really don't know what I'm going to find, but hopefully we'll see some fry. This next one is home to my hyphen variatus platies, and as you can see, there's a lot of guppy grass in here. So this is another one I really don't know what I'm going to find in. And that's kind of the same with this last tub here in the first section. This is home to my Gerardus metallicus. These are the yellow form. Kind of once again, really don't know kind of what we're going to find in there. So I think in this first section, I think we're going to be surprised, either good or bad. I think there's going to be a lot to discover, and hopefully we find a lot of fry in this Priscilla section. So now we're going to head over to the Gidea tubs. As you can see, these are significantly overgrown. We have these big flowers. They kind of look like daisies. These have kind of taken over the yard a little bit. They normally do this time of year. You can probably see there's a ton of bumblebees in here as well, which is kind of something that I'm kind of careful of, especially when I mow the grass or I'm working around here. But I'm going to probably have to cut a little bit of this back just so I can get to that last tub there. All right, so heading to this first tub here, you're not going to be able to see it very well with all the cover. You can already see here, there's a frog right there that just jumped into the tub. So this is home to my Iliodon whitei. This is one that I've struggled to breed. So we're going to go ahead and pull those out, and just maybe we might see some fry. So heading over to this next tub here, this is home to my Xenotoka lion's eye. This didn't really get a lot of plant cover in the tub, so I'm really not sure what I'm really going to find in terms of fry in this one. There are some red root floaters in here, but those didn't really take off as well as I thought. So we'll go ahead and get these taken down over the next few weeks, and we'll kind of see what happens. Moving on to this next one, this is home to my Xenotoka melanosoma. So this is another one that's pretty significantly overgrown with picker bushes. So once I get all the tubs out of here, I'm probably going to do a little bit of a gardening project and get rid of all these picker bushes once and for all. Maybe dig out the stumps so these don't come back. This is kind of one that I experimented with some aquarium plants in. There is some like creeping moss in the back. You probably won't be able to see it very well in the camera, but that seemed to do okay once I threw it in here about a month ago or so. But the rest of these aquarium plants really didn't do that great. There was some Vallisneria here, and then I think I just threw in some other crypts right there. But kind of turned red. I think it was a little bit too much sun for them, but it was worth the experiment, and always something to learn. So moving on to the next one here, I have some lilies in this one. They seem to do okay. They definitely sprouted some new leaves and kind of started to grow in a little bit. I didn't see any flowers, but I didn't fertilize in this one. So that's to be expected. Kind of just allowed the fish to fertilize it. So kind of expected. The fish that were in here were the Xenotoka variata from Jesus Maria. Pretty cool fish. So kind of hoping to see what we find once we get everything pulled out of here. So this next tub here is home to my Allophorus robustus, or bulldog gideads. As a dither fish though, I did throw in some Bosemani rainbow fish. So I'm pretty excited to pull those out to see what they look like once I get them out of the tub. I think their colors will be quite stunning actually, but something I'm pretty excited to see once I get these pulled out. And as you can see here, there's plenty of water lettuce in here. That reproduced quite readily, so I'd call that a success. Moving over to the side here, we have this Metahune bog lily. Kind of just maintained itself. It really didn't do anything special. Just kind of sat here, kind of maintained itself, didn't die back, didn't grow. So we may have to make some adjustments for that here in the future. So this is a tub that I do expect to see some fry out of, since we saw some fry early in the season, and that's the Chapelixes encaustus. So I'm looking forward to getting this one cleared out to kind of see what the numbers look like. So this is one that I am pretty hopeful for, since I did see some fry early in the season. You do see quite a bit of hair algae in here. Obviously that's not ideal, but these tubs were made for fry protection and not really for, say, aesthetics. So moving on to the last tub here. This tub is home to the Alidinichthyes tamazule. Pretty interesting fish, one that I've never bred. Had it for a few years now. Never really got it to breed, so hopefully we can find some fry in here once I get this tub taken down and get everything pulled out. These last 7 Gudea tubs that I showed you, I'm not going to take these down this weekend. They'll be fine with the 50-degree low temperatures at night, so I think they'll do quite well. But I'm going to take them down Labor Day weekend, just kind of due to time constraints. Keystone Clash is coming up. Kind of want to get everything settled before that, and I really don't want to get caught with a cold snap. These probably could stay out till the end of September, but I still want to leave them out that long, like I said, with my schedule and everything going on. So we're going to go ahead and start with this tub. This is home to the double sword guppies. Before we get started, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to use. So I have this little critter container here to hold the fish. So I'm going to get some water in that once we get started. Once I capture the fish, I'll go ahead and put them in this. I've got 3 different nets here, a couple aquarium co-op nets, and then one just regular net to scoop out some of the duckweed. Then I have a 5-gallon bucket. This is kind of to keep the frogs in that I catch. I'm going to take those over to a swamp that's nearby the house. So hopefully they can stay in this bucket and not proliferate throughout the yard. So my last piece of equipment here is this Danner Mag Drive 9 pump. Pretty powerful pump. I'm gonna go ahead and cover the intake on that. This is just to empty the pond quicker and makes it a lot easier. You can use any pump that you want. I just have this one. It's been a workhorse here in the fish barn for a lot of different projects. So we'll go ahead and get that set up once we kind of get things going here. So as we get started here, one of the things I really want to accomplish is eliminate the proliferation of duckweed in the fish room. That's one of my goals, is to not have a lot of duckweed in the fish barn. So we're gonna get all this duckweed out that we can. So I just want to check it real quick to make sure I don't have any fry. I did see some of the fry in there for sure already, so that's a good sign. And you're not gonna get all of it doing this, but at least you'll get it to a manageable level. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this rock, just to get that out of the way. I'm not gonna save any of these plants just due to the large amount of duckweed in them. Like, I don't want to sell these or get them in my fish room, so I'm gonna take these out. And I'm just gonna dispose of them. All right, so now we're just gonna go fill this up with some water from the tub before we get started. And then we'll go ahead and start netting some fish. So the greens really came out of those fish from being in the sunlight. So that male is absolutely beautiful. And you can see there's some gold ones in here too, which are kind of interesting. So this strain seems to throw a little bit of a gold one too. So now we have the tub mostly devoid of fish, at least the fish that I can see. We're gonna go ahead here and set up the pump. All right, so unfortunately I'm feeling some raindrops. I wasn't expecting rain today. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop for the moment because I don't want to damage any of the camera equipment or anything. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of put everything away, and then once the rain blows over, we're gonna go ahead and we'll get back to this. All right, so the rain has subsided now. Actually just turned out to be some sprinkles. So I do see some more fry in here, so I'm gonna try to catch those out first, and then we'll go ahead and start the pump. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and plug in the pump now, and I'll try to catch fry as it's draining. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this net and kind of put it over the intakes, just so we don't suck up any fish. All right, so we went ahead and got the pump out. So we're just gonna go ahead and hunt for any more fry. And then as we do that, we're gonna go ahead and dump the water out through this, through the net here. I don't see any more fry in here, but that doesn't mean there aren't any. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and dump this through a net, just in case we have any more fry that I missed. I usually check this mulm and everything that comes out, just to see if I see any. And so far it doesn't look like we've gotten any in here. So it's like I actually got them all. So here's the final result. Definitely more than what I started with. So I'm pretty happy, especially since I didn't put these in until late June. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do the same process with this tub. I already started taking out some of the duckweed as we were draining the guppy tub. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of start taking the plants out of here, and then we'll go ahead and go from there. Got our first Hawaiian Variatus here. Absolutely gorgeous. I love how the sun kind of gets the green colors out of these fish. Kind of like we saw with the guppies. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, there we got a couple more really nice looking fish there. Got another one. I really like how the blacks come out on these too. Got it covered in weeds again, but there you go. There's another one. So by the looks of it so far in this tub, it doesn't look like I've seen any fry. So that's kind of unfortunate, but we really didn't lose any. I think we maybe lost one. I did pull a dead one out of here kind of early on. Got another adult. So here's the final result. Unfortunately, we didn't see any fry, but that's okay. For whatever reason, the camera didn't focus very well on these fish, but these fish really did look nice coming out of the water. I've had this happen before, so maybe we'll see these fish drop some fry once they're back inside the barn. We're now at the tub with my yellow form of Giardinus metallicus. I already have all the plants and rocks cleared out, so we just have to drain the tub and catch the fish. These look pretty cool too, actually. Like the yellows really pop on these from being out in the sun. These were pretty stubborn. I didn't catch the other two until the tub was almost empty. And unfortunately, I didn't have any fry from these either. If I put these out again, I'll probably try a bigger container. So we're now to the last tub for this weekend. This is this 55-gallon drum. Some of my high fin platies in here. There's a ton of nice guppy grass in here that I'm actually going to save. I'm probably going to bag this up and either sell it locally or maybe bring some of it to the Keystone Clash. So I'm actually going to harvest this, put this in another container, and then kind of keep it good until I can kind of get rid of it. This one's going to be probably one of the harder ones to do just because it's so deep, but we'll go ahead and get after it. Look at that, looks really cool with the sun on it. I didn't see any fry in here either, but that fish looks outstanding. See, there's another one right there. Yeah, absolutely makes these fish pop. Just having them outside in the natural light with the natural food. There you go, here's the last one right there. The sheens are absolutely outstanding on these fish that are kept outside. Unfortunately, we didn't get any fry with these either, but the sheens that these fish put out was absolutely outstanding, and they look totally awesome. You can tell that they've already dulled down in the short time they've been in the Critter Keeper. So that's all for the bacillids for this season. Kind of mixed results, but I am excited to take down the G'day tubs next weekend and to see what we have there. All right, so we're now to Labor Day weekend. I know it's been a few seconds for you, but it's been about a week for me. So we're gonna go ahead and start with this 100-gallon tote here. This is home to my Xenotoca melanosoma. It's been pretty chilly out, so they're kind of reclusive, especially when it gets kind of cold out. So we're gonna start taking this down, start taking all the rockwork and plants out of here, and then we'll go ahead and kind of start draining it and seeing what we can find. I don't see a whole lot of fry just looking at the tub, but you never know once you kind of start getting things taken down. So I got all the plants out of here, and I think the best way to attack this tub is just to get it drained down. And then once the water level gets lower, I'm gonna go ahead and start catching some of the fish out. So I did drain this down. There's only a couple inches of water left, but I'm gonna actually like drag this out a little bit into the yard and then see if I can get the fish out. I think a lot of them are hiding back here in the rock work. I can see them darting around in and out of the rocks. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag this out just so I have a little bit better coverage to see if I can net these out. And then we'll go ahead and we'll go from there. So we've now got this tub dragged out. I did see a frog in here, which is kind of not the greatest news in the world. But like I said, I did see some fish. So this is pretty murky, but we're gonna go ahead and give it a try and see what we can net out of here. As you can see here, there's some pretty nice sheens on these guys. I'm glad to see that there's a few of these guys at least left. Like I said, the water was pretty cold. We'll go ahead and get these guys put in a container, and then we'll keep catching these guys out. Got another little guy right here. Another adult right there. All right, so here's the results. Didn't look like we really lost anything. And I see some little ones in here too that I'm pretty happy about. So I think they may have spawned a little bit while we're in the tubs, which is something that I'm pretty happy about. Since the water was so cold, I'm actually gonna go ahead and put these guys inside, let them warm up a little bit, and then I'll put them back in the tank where they came from. So now that we've got the first tub out of the way, it's gonna make this a little bit easier to work with. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same process that we did with the other tub. I'm gonna go ahead and get all the rock work and everything out of here. This is home to my Xenotoka lion's eye. So hopefully there's some fry in here. I've not seen any, but I'm gonna be optimistic and hopefully we'll see some fry in here. See, the red root floaters in here didn't really take off like I thought they would. They did make some more, but really not a ton of those. So I'm gonna go ahead and make an attempt here to see if I can net anything out. I'm not seeing anything swimming around at the moment, but we'll see what we can find. All right, as we were draining the pond, I was able to catch 3 of them. I have a very pregnant female here, another female, and then I want to get a look at that male. He's absolutely stunning with his coloration. The blue really comes out in this fish when you have it out in the sunlight. So I don't think they drop because this female is absolutely huge. But we'll get these guys in the container and probably get them inside pretty quick. All right, so I got this tub empty. I didn't find any more fry. It's kind of what I expected. Seeing the very large gravid female, I really didn't think there was any fry in here. I'm pretty happy with the results though. The color on the male was absolutely stunning. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the gravid female to a 2.5 gallon tank that I set up. And hopefully we'll see some fry here in the next couple of weeks. So we're on to the next tub here. This is home to the Iliodon whitey eye. As you can see, this is pretty full of duckweed. You can see there's a frog in here. He's right on top of the fountain. So we're gonna get all the duckweed out of here, get this cleared out, and then kind of see what we've got fish-wise. All right, we got one right here. Definitely looks pretty cool. We'll go ahead and get him put away. Got another one there, definitely some pretty nice sheens on that one too. All right, we've got this one pretty well empty. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump the rest of this out and then see if we can catch the remaining fish. So I got the tub empty and unfortunately didn't find the other fish. And also, I didn't find any fry either. I did inspect the 2 remaining fish and determined that both of them were males. I'll probably just put these fish in a catch-all tank and maybe try to find some other Iliodon whitey eye that I can work with at a later date. We're now coming to my 100-gallon tote that's home to my Xenotoka variata from Jesus Maria. This is also the tub that I planted with lilies, so I'm gonna have to remove those and put them somewhere in the fish room. But I am kind of hopeful that maybe we'll see some fry out of this tank. It is pretty murky, but kind of excited to see what we have in here. All right, I got the first one. This one I'm a little bit disappointed in the color. I thought these would be a little bit brighter because these are kind of bright fish anyway, but we'll see what the rest of them look like when they come out. All right, see I got another one here. These didn't come out as bright as I thought they would. So this is what I was looking for. You can see the red's even popping through on this fish, which is something that you don't normally see in the aquarium. This fish is absolutely gorgeous. And here's another one. That's absolutely outstanding. There you go, there's another one. You can just absolutely see that red. Absolutely beautiful. Here's the catch. Unfortunately, there wasn't any fry, but I really did enjoy the red coloration that came through on the males. I was impressed with the shades these fish developed being outside. It was really a lot of fun to see them as they came out of the tubs. So moving on here to this next tub, this is the 150-gallon tub. This tub is home to the Allophorus robustus, so there should be 3 of those in there. And then also I do have some Melanotania bosemani, which I'm pretty excited to pull out of here and get a look at after they've been in the sun all summer. You can see here there's also some water lettuce, as well as the Menehune bog lily, which really didn't do much over the summer, but still did show a little bit of growth. So I'll go ahead and start getting this one taken down as well. I was able to get one of the rainbow fish here, and it looks absolutely beautiful. There's a lot more green in this fish than you would typically see. It's more just the orange and blue. This fish definitely has a really nice green sheen to it. There's the other one, absolutely amazing. So we've got this down quite a bit now, and I can see the remaining fish. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get them out now. So this is the first Allophorus robustus. Kind of has a really nice kind of bronze sheen to it. It's not a very colorful fish normally anyway, but definitely still pretty cool to see the sheen on it. I got the other 2 in there. Pretty similar bronze sheen to both of them. All right, so we did get all the fish out. There weren't any fry or anything in there like I suspected. But I was really happy with how the rainbow fish turned out. They had some really cool looks to them coming out of the sunlight. They looked really cool being in the tub. I think it's kind of more their natural coloration. There was a lot of green on them, which I really appreciated. The Allophorus robustus looked pretty cool too. They had a little bit of a bronze sheen on them as well. These guys aren't real happy here in their tubs, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys put away before we move on to the next one. All right, we're on to this next tub. This one I'm going to be a little bit careful with because I know there's probably fry in here. So this is home to the Chapalicles encaustus. So if you watched any of the update videos, you would have seen some of the fry in here. So we're first going to kind of very carefully get rid of all this hair algae. Hopefully we don't pull any fry out in the hair algae. And since this tub is pretty clear, I'm hoping I can pull out the fish without having to drain the tub first, but we'll see how that goes. Unfortunately, the camera isn't picking them up very well, but there are 2 fry in this net, along with a whole bunch of duckweed. I think we're up to 6 or 7 now. All right, so I've kind of had to make a decision here. I've pulled out probably about 15 or 20 fry, but I do need to try to drain this down some. Now I'm gonna hook the pump back up, but we gotta drain this real slow because I really don't want to lose a whole bunch of fry through the pump. I actually decided to use a different pump for this, one that's not as powerful. But we're gonna put this one in instead and see how it goes. I got 3-in-1 pulley. You can see this one's a little bit bigger, and then you can see the smaller one like right next to it. So I think we've definitely had multiple drops of fry that's fish in here, which is pretty cool. And we just keep pulling out fry. So I'm pretty excited about this tub. All right, I have one of the adults here. Definitely pretty cool sheens on that. It probably doesn't come through on the camera, but it does actually have a little bit of a red tail on it as well. Just towards the end of the tail fin, there's a little bit of a red stripe on it, which I thought was pretty cool. Really pretty fish. I do want to get a male out and show you as well. And as we've been draining the tub here, I've definitely picked up some more fry as well. So this has so far been the most productive tub of the season for sure. All right, got another one here. This one has a little bit of blue on the belly, kind of cool. But you can see the stripes a little bit better on this one. That's kind of its normal coloration, but still has a pretty nice bronze sheen on it. Well, this is the catch. Managed to catch all the fry. There's a pretty large number of fry in here. I didn't count for sure, but I'm pretty sure there's over 15, which is a pretty good number, especially for gadads. Yeah, it's kind of cool. They actually have a little bit of an orange stripe on their tail. I hope that comes through on the camera. Definitely a cool fish, one that you don't see a lot in the hobby, and I'm pretty glad to be able to breed this again. So hopefully, like some of the other gadads I've kept in the past, they'll spawn in the fish room as well. Hopefully keeping them outside may have triggered them. This is definitely a strong candidate to go outside again next year. So we finally made it to the last one. It's been a pretty long day today, but we're at the last tub here. This is home to the Alodonyctes tamazulae. Hopefully we'll see some fry in here. I haven't really seen a lot of these fish since I put them in. They never bred for me in the fish barn, and I've had them since 2022. We're gonna take a flyer here and see what happens. I've not seen any fry so far as I've been taking the duckweed out. Just caught the first one here. Has a pretty cool sheen to it. Definitely pretty cool. Kind of a pearl sheen, but we'll go ahead and get him put away and see if we can catch the other ones. Got another one here. There's a little bit of hint of red on this one too. These definitely turn out pretty cool when you keep them outside in the sun. One thing that's pretty cool too is if you look at the gill plate, it's got kind of an orange scale on it. So I thought that was pretty neat as well. So I got the third one here. Pretty much looks like the other ones. All right, so that's the last tub. We didn't have any fry, but the 3 adults look good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them put in the fish barn, get them fed, and that's gonna kind of wrap it for tonight. I think it's after 7:30, probably close to 8 o'clock right now. So we've been going at this for about 8 hours or so. So I'm pretty tired. I've kind of had enough of doing tubs for today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys put in, and then we'll go ahead and do a recap after that. I hope that you enjoyed taking this journey through summer tubbing season. This is one of my favorite times of the year. I really do enjoy the summer tubs, even though our season in Michigan is kind of short. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the tubs and didn't have any huge losses, which is a win. I did some experimentation this year with fish that don't breed for me, so I'm not totally surprised with the lack of fry production. At the end here, I'll go ahead and put a link to a video from the beginning of tubbing season, as well as a playlist of all my tubbing adventures over the years. So with that, thank you for watching, stay safe, stay fishy, and I'll catch you on the next video.